Hello everybody! Welcome back to Michael Loudon TV, here with a running recap. This is the first race I've ran since I've been married, which I got married May 30th. So this is June 7th, this run was. It was the Cowboy Trail Run. This is the actual shirt from today's race. It might be a little hard to see with the lighting. 2015 Cowboy Trail Run. It's got orange and green on it. It was run at the Cheff Center down in Augusta. And by the way, you're probably wondering, oh, where's this location? I haven't seen this yet. Well, I'm at my parents' house today, so that's where I'm doing this video from. So anyways, the race went off at 9:15 this morning, so I got up a couple hours before the race. My wife and I did, and Kathleen. And so we got ready, and we got there probably... I'd say about an hour before the race started, so I grabbed my gear, so got the shirt, got my bib number and everything, and did some stretching and some running. We watched the 10K race go off first, and this was the first year that they did the 10K race, but 5K is my favorite distance, so I was like, yeah, I'll do the 5K again. Heard the 10K was a pretty tough course. It's all run on a trail, so even the 5K course is pretty tough, but I mean, you feel really happy after you accomplished running this course. And there were probably, I'd say, 200 of us or so running all together, maybe a little over 200 people at the event. Very, very well put on. This is, I believe, the fourth year that this event is taking place. This is the fourth year I've done it too, so I've done it every single year. And the first year I did it, I was just thinking, yeah, let's go out and win this race. And so I was like pretty close to the front early on, and then I was not prepared for all the hills that were in the race, and so I ended up walking a lot of the walking and running a lot of the race after doing a lot of stopping and stuff. Wasn't very good for me. I was not thrilled with how I did. Was pretty upset that I was not prepared for this, but then ever since after that, I've been prepared very, very well for this race. I know not to go out too fast. I know that it's going to be a little slower time than what I'm used to, just because of it's a trail and it's got a lot of hills, and the terrain is pretty uneven. You're jumping around from here and there, so it's a very, very challenging race. So at 9:15 we went off. We started up by the main building and went across a flat plain, which was a grassy plain, headed down a dirt path, across the street, and we went into the woods, and that's where a lot of the terrain started. Now, the first section of the race, about the first mile or so, there's about one hill on the course when you're in the woods. So it's not really hilly at that point. I was when we crossed the road, I was probably like 6th or 7th or so, and I passed a couple people, worked my way up to 4th. There was 3 guys already a good distance ahead of me, and then right as we were coming out along a field where he had a little up and down, this guy had passed me and asked me what pace I was going to go. Because the course, it's a 5K race, but the course is actually 3.4 miles long, and I know that from the past because it's actually said that in the results. So I'm just like, I don't know what time I'm going for because of the fact it's a 3.4 mile course. So I was thinking in my head maybe around 7-minute miles because it's just gonna be a little bit slower. Well, just a little bit later on, we get past the water stop, and once we get past the water stop, we cross the street again into the woods, the main woods, which was where you had all the ups and downs of the hills and the downhills, and you didn't really have any flat sections again until you got back across the street again and hit basically the same portion back going back. But anyways, it was sunny for the race. It was cool. But once we got going, it did warm up quite a bit. I didn't really feel like at any time I was struggling with the course. The guy that ended up passing me, I ended up passing a little later on. I could tell he was maybe struggling with it a little bit with the uneven terrain, and and we talked after the race, and it was like the first time this guy had done the course, so he wasn't used to it. So with me having the experience of being out 4 years, it was really nice. We did run into a few of the 10K runners, but because the courses did combine at some points, they had signs out letting you know 5K this way, 10K this way. So very well marked. They had volunteers out at all those points. They had people out taking pictures, water, Gatorade stops. I mean, the whole 9 yards. I mean, it was fantastic. And I mean, great scenery too, running through the woods, because I mean, most of the time when I do these 5K races, 10K races, they're always on the road. So, you don't have, all this fantastic scenery around, and you get enveloped in it, whereas you're on the road, you're not really doing that, and you can't see the and you can see the competition that's in front of you. And here it's like you got all this really nice environment of running through the woods and on a trail, and always keeping an eye out for the uneven terrain, and most of it was marked off really well, where the roots and the rocks were painted orange so you could see them. But yeah, you just keeping an eye out for all of that. I just remember what my coaches said: use the downhills to your advantage. I just flew down them, chugged my way up through the uphills, through all the up and down terrain. Just such a scenic route. And then yeah, you can lose where the competition's at. I never peeked it over my shoulder until when we were coming back on the flat stretch again to see was the guy that I had passed close to me, and I looked and he wasn't. So I probably had fourth pretty much locked up pretty early on during the race. I could never see the three guys in front of me. I saw the third place guy crossing the street again once I came out of the woods and we were heading down toward the final stretch. So once we headed back that way, we were on the grass again, hit the dirt road, crossed the street, and then we went back up the hill that we started to go down to start. And then I'm just like, oh my gosh, just got to hold on and bring it in here. So I sprinted as fast as I could toward the finish, did not look behind me to see if anybody was trying to chase me down, which at that point nobody was. So I crossed the line and I got 22:53 for my time. I believe that is my best time ever on this course, if I'm not mistaken. So with it being 3.4 miles, my time per mile average was a 6:44. So that was better than what I expected that I was going to do. And so yeah, a lot of fun. Then cheered on a lot of the runners afterwards, all the 5Kers and the 10Kers. And there were a few people that I saw from Kalamazoo Running. I saw Frank and Addie, and they both won awards. And I saw Randy as well, so just give a shout out to them. They all did fantastic during the race as well. In fact, Addie had to be coaxed a little bit to do the race because she had a sprained ankle that she had incurred just a few days before the race, but toughed it out, and she ran in the 10K along with Frank, and so did Randy. So I was the one that ended up doing the 5K. Maybe next year I'll do the 10K. Who knows? We'll see. But I mean, just a fantastic event put on. And then afterwards, one of the best post-race meals you can have. I mean, I've talked about before the K5K having a really great post-race meal, which they do because they offered the fruit and with the yogurt and granola and all that's just so fantastic. But the breakfast that they put on for this event for the Cowboy Trail Run, you got scrambled eggs, you got ham, which I ended up getting like 4 pieces of ham, a good amount of scrambled eggs, and you got Jones soda to go along with it. I mean, right at the finish line, they're giving you medals. I mean, let's talk about that too. They give you medals at the finish line as well. So you take a look at those. Nice Cheff Center medals that everybody gets. These are the ones that the 5Kers got. The 10Kers got one that actually said 10K on them. But you get Hudsonville ice cream as well. You had the choice of vanilla, brownie batter. You could combine them if you wanted to. And like I said, you had people handing you water as you crossed the line. I mean, just such a well put on event. Everybody, all the volunteers do a fantastic job. getting it organized, cheering everybody on, having all this stuff for us. It's great. I mean, they had apples and oranges and bananas for everybody afterwards as well. And then the awards that they give out for the age groups are fantastic as well. Usually in the past, they also just did medals for the awards. So like you would get like not a medal similar to this, but not exactly. I mean, you would get like a gold one if you got like first in your age group. Well, this year they did something a little different, and they gave out horseshoes that have a little bow on it, and it says on here the year 2015 Cowboy Trail Run and your gender along with your age group, the race you ran, and winner. It says winner at the bottom. So this is definitely going to go up on my wall. So what a fantastic award. I mean, all the stuff and effort that they put into this race is just so fantastic. And I mean, it continues to grow year after year. And I just hope that this event just keeps getting bigger and growing but I look forward to doing it again next year. I mean, just such a great place to put on at the Cheff Center. And of course, they have some of the horses out on the course as well. People are riding them, the volunteers are. So just fantastic race with a great course. Not a lot of times you get to run trail races. So I mean, it's fantastic when I get a chance to take that in. Great awards, great food that they offer you. So I mean, just a excellent put on event. This is Mike Loudon, over and out for the Cowboy Trail Run recap of 2015.